This just in, a judge has confirmed that one of the Jane Does must reveal her identity. And of all the Jane Does, it's this one. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. As if the drama couldn't stop. So glad we got BJ, that surprise witness. How you doing, BJ?
Good. I've been up for 5 hours.
Oh, good. Working always. You never stop. Never, can't stop. Won't stop. Just like Diddy. We will not stop this man. We got to use it against him. But here's a fascinating and frustrating but fascinating turn of events. One of these Jane Does must now reveal her identity if she wants to continue her lawsuit. And of course, surprise, surprise, whose identity must be revealed? It's this Jane Doe. The same Jane Doe we've talked about in great detail. Boom, there she is in the infamous D&G photos. The same one that a Mesha has come forward and attempted to say, no, it's me. Now, we've gone Jane Doe, a.k.a. Mesha. Who is it, BJ? Who has it been? This woman claims it's her, but she never filed a lawsuit. We've really been trying to get to the bottom of things, and it does seem like, I'm not going to call people liars. I'm trying to be better, BJ, but it does seem like some people haven't been honest and have their stories wrong. And many are, I'll say it, Mesha's story doesn't sound like it's fully legit. Now, it doesn't mean she hasn't been through trauma. I don't want to add more to the pile, but it's not looking good for her. And now the fact that this Jane Doe in the real lawsuit, which we revealed, I think the first one to show the tweet, that the law firm has confirmed that no, Mesha is not Jane Doe. BJ, things just got incredibly interesting. So I want to get your legal perspective on this. So before we get into the drama of it all, like, can you break this down? Like, are you surprised? What's this actually mean? Now, there were a couple other entities that were removed, corporate entities. Can you walk us through what the judge ruled?
I'm not surprised. No. And in fact, I don't know if y'all covered this over here. I don't even know if I covered it, to be honest. But, you know, Busby filed all those lawsuits under the same provision, the Gender Motivated Violence Act. And several of his Jane Does and John Does have been now ordered also, that if they want to proceed, they have to use their name. And it doesn't surprise me from a legal perspective, because I do know that obviously everybody has the right to confront their accuser in court. I mean, you can imagine right at the extreme end of this spectrum where no plaintiffs are ever named, and you never know who's suing someone. And then the person, you know, a lot of people don't understand, like, there's also a public right for the public to know, each individual member of the public to know how our institutions are being used and by whom and for what purpose and all of that. And so there's a lot of rights at stake to basically make someone anonymous. And sometimes it does happen, but there have to be very extreme circumstances. And I have not obviously been able to keep up with the intricacies of the day-to-day filings in each and every one of these cases, including this one. But this is one of the ones that was filed early on. And like December, it was one of the first ones filed after Cassie.
Yep.
And so I think it's like certainly one of the oldest ones. And so for that reason, it's like actually interesting.
Literally a year ago
see.
Today. That's wild. Literally a year ago, December 6th, 2023. Yeah.
Wow.
On the anniversary of the filing, ironically.
That's weird. That's such a coincidence, right? But anyway, so no, I mean, I'm not surprised. And what?
Well, you're also not surprised because you were pointing this out. Like, this was already in the docket way earlier this year, back in, it looks like you were saying in February.
Right.
There was an order right back in February where this was sort of already assumed. There's so much to follow that we didn't really realize. She then challenged this ruling that she'd have to show her name, but now the judge is reconfirming the ruling, but also allowing the case to stay. There was a question of whether this would be put away because of that ruling you just said, but now it looks like the case can move forward against not everybody, the entities themselves, the people, but not the corporations, right? But she's going to have to file with her name. Am I correct in sort of summarizing where we stand?
Kind of, almost. Yeah, almost. See, they went back and forth over whether or not she was going to have to be anonymous, or, you know, whether or not she was going to reveal her name. And then the judge made an order. So it doesn't look like she continued to challenge it, but the judge put like pretty much a pause on her having to reveal her identity until after he or she decided another issue. The other issue was, as you mentioned,
This one.
who Diddy is getting sued with. Is it Daddy's
Yeah.
house? Can Daddy's house even be sued under the gender violence law with these particular circumstances? So the
And
judge was
Bad
like,
Boy
all right,
Holdings.
and Bad Boy Holding. Was there 3 or just 2?
Well, it's Sean Combs, Harvey Pierre, and then these 2 entities, Daddy's House and Bad Boy. And Bad Boy and Daddy's House have now been thrown out, but Pierre and Combs still remain.
Right. So the judge was saying, fine, you don't have to put your identity out there if there's not going to be a case at all. So we won't put your identity out there yet. Let us get through all the arguments on whether or not who's going to even be able to be sued here. Maybe nobody.
Got it.
So if nobody, then it really would have been totally harmful just to put her identity out and for nothing. So the judge is like, all right, let's just wait. So now that the judge has said, yes, it's going forward, we definitely going to have a lawsuit as Diddy and Harv Pierre. Then that order all the way back from February does come alive pretty much.
Yep. So now she's so there it is. So this is the ruling, came in yesterday, I guess last night. And today we're reporting on it for the first time, but there it is. This is now confirmed by the judge, which has now prompted some headlines and people were running with this last night. But yeah, this will now, it will be a ripple effect. More people might have to be naming their names. That whole thing aside, BJ, the irony, I guess, right, that it's this person, it just can't be ignored. Like there's been so much back and forth. There's been so much doubt and question. And there's that many fairly worried that Mesha here, this may have been muddying the waters and actually helping Diddy in this case. And in fact, I'm going to share you more of my personal thoughts uncensored today at 12. Will be uncensored for our members. If you're not yet a member, consider hitting that join button. Join today either on YouTube or on Patreon. We prefer you doing it over there. We'll have links on either platform, and we will get uncensored this afternoon at 12 p.m. Eastern. So probably as you're watching this, we may be live. Join us because I will... BJ, I'm going to go a little bit more off. I'm trying to be a polite host and respectful to all the people, but I'm going to let it unloose a little bit more for my members today and go uncensored because look, this is to lie about this stuff is bad, right?
I'm confused about uncensored. You going on Piers Morgan's show or it's your uncensored?
This is Popcorned Uncensored, where once a week we go live, and you're welcome to join us anytime, where we don't worry about the filters. We can say whatever the F we want. We can curse. We can say the buzz, the lawsuit stuff, the keywords that YouTube demonetizes. Once a month we go uncensored. Once a week we go uncensored just so we can say whatever the F we want without any fear of recourse. And so that's what today at Uncensored, we're going to go through the Diddy drama just to sort of, I'm going to vent, share my actual personal feelings without trying to offend anybody. I might offend people on Uncensored because I don't give a shit on Uncensored. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to share more thoughts because look, there's a lot to be said about the trauma that clearly Mesha's been through trauma. I'm not going to doubt it. At the same time, she's launching YouTube channels titled with her Cash App. I mean, it's not a good look for me and it does muddy the waters. And I think this is bad for the victims. What do you think?
I mean, I could see why you think that. I don't think it's bad for the victims because I think that it took 2 whole entire weeks for the entire collective general public to figure out that something was not right. I mean, most people took a few days, but like I think it could have been bad for the victims had like they been actually believable or, you know, carried on with this charade for a long time, but I don't think it's bad for the victim. I mean, I think it's really bad for the victim that she's apparently impersonating or the alleged victim. Like, obviously it's really bad. Like, I mean, it's like almost identity theft or something. It's very strange. Like, I mean, just think about it from the perspective of that one alleged victim. Let's say even half the stuff that girl said was true. That woman said was true. Can you even imagine? Like you have gone out of your way to not reveal your identity. And then there's someone out here pretending to be you.
Yeah, it's awful.
So, I mean, but no, I mean, I don't think that
you don't think it's going to hurt the case?
No way. If anything, helps the case because it shows that people are out here acting crazy over this case and who knows why. I mean, it definitely is something's amiss.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, oh my God, this victim's working for Diddy. That means the whole thing's going to go on. No, it's not. There's still many victims who are real, Cassie included, and they clearly are arming the actual real case against Diddy with, I would assume, their best witnesses that they've put forth to the grand jury. And yeah, there's always going to be bad actors out there, bad bunch in the and I'm not even trying to say she is one, but
Right.
she definitely, has some questions she needs to answer. And that's not going to ruin the whole case. I'll agree with you there, but I do think it hurts victims. It does both. It's not helping. And the drama, the circus definitely isn't helping. So there's a lot there. But of course, just fascinating that of all the people who are going to have to now name themselves, this photo might finally get unblurred, BJ. And that'll answer a lot of questions. There'll definitely be some answers and questions that'll need to be answered. Now, I expect this woman to not go on a million YouTube shows and talk about her case, because that's never really a good idea for the case, right, BJ?
I mean, again, I'm biased because I'm in active litigation myself, and if I were to be, somehow restrained from speaking about it, it would first of all severely limit my ability to fundraise for it, and also I think limit and prohibit my free speech. Now, that being said, generally, yes, lawyers tell their clients, do not speak about this case publicly. You could mess it up. And generally, that is very good advice. So, I mean, I don't follow it because I'm talking about stuff that happens to me. But
you have a legal background. You're a little bit smarter than the average person of what you should be saying or not saying in your own case. One hopes. But emotions can get in the way, right? Because anything you say can be used against you, right?
And often is. And yes, so I mean,
is there any legal repercussion? Is there any legal repercussion for this woman if, in fact, she is lying and she's making money off of said photos and off of said Jane Doe? Because from what I gathered, that's the line. If she's causing harm or monetary damages to this case, that could prove difficult for her, no?
There's a lot of creative ways lawyers can come up with to sue people. So I actually do think there must be some way, that they could say that she was obstructing or interfering or maybe name her as a co-defendant, but that would be very difficult to bring her in, especially without any proof. I mean, this brings to mind all of the the two private investigator goons that were traveling around asking about Diddy stuff. It's like, are they just traveling around looking for influencers who will work for payment? Like, I don't know. It's just so much speculation, because who would have ever thought there would be someone out here faking and pretending to be a fake Diddy victim? Like that was not on my bingo card. So now it kind of has opened up any and every likelihood of all kinds of strange and scandalous possibilities because of what I've seen with my very eyes transpire now.
Well, and I'll end on the other side of the coin I am speculating, and we'll do more of it on our Uncensored at 12 o'clock. So make sure you join me there as I share more of this theory. But I want to end on this theory because we're all assuming she's lying. What if the case is dropped and she doesn't want to name herself? That will only fuel Mesha even further to say, see, guys, I told you which one was lying. It was her. If this Jane Doe decides to go off the grid, this will only fuel Mesha to say, I told you all, see, blah, 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 right? There's a version of this where it could go the other way, no?
Oh, man, yeah, there's a fourth version, too, where Mesha really was, that was her story, and someone filed a totally fake lawsuit pretending to be Mesha, and she doesn't remember the details because she was on drugs. Like, I mean, that's very unlikely, but it is. I wasn't there.
It's why I've been careful, because you don't know what the hell's going to happen in this case.
I know for a fact, Andy, for 100% fact, people have been enlisted to file fake, false, full of lies declarations against me in court. And 2 of them have sent emails recanting, saying that I didn't say that. Someone I did not say that. That wasn't me. So it's like, okay, well, I know for a firsthand experience, people can file fake stuff in a court. And who better to file it than the person who filed Cassie's lawsuit? The big one.
Yeah.
Followed by the big 2, which is Lil Rod. And that's, I think Tyrone Blackburn did that. But yeah, no, I'm open to any and all possibilities. And that's why whenever we get information like this, I've not made my mind up. I don't know what happened to Mesha. I wasn't there. That's my catchphrase. I don't know. I wasn't there. And so I'm dying to find out. I'm dying to find out. And this is another reason why you do have to have a transparent court system. I understand that there do need to be some protections for victims, but at the same time, we now as the public have been drawn into this battle, drawn into this legal dispute, and we have the legal right to know who's using our systems and for what reasons. So my heart does go out to the alleged victims and the victims that have to name themselves. I do understand that's painful. I do understand that there's risk involved in a lot of ways of doing it, but I'm not particularly surprised that she's going to have to now, she's been ordered to proceed forward with her real name. And it might give us some clarity, like you said at the very beginning of the video.
We might
segment.
find out. We might finally get to the truth of this. This will be fascinating. You bet your butt we'll keep you updated, as will BJ. So you can go follow that Surprise Witness TV over on YouTube. And make sure you join us. We're probably live right now, or going to be in a minute, or maybe you missed it. Watch the replay. You can hit that join button here today. Watch us, join us uncensored. Get uncensored with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. At least hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell. Sometimes they unsubscribe you. So hit that bell, hit the like when you get those notifications. Leave your comments. Tell us your theories down below. We'll see you live this afternoon. And we got a lot more coming for you. So stay tuned here on Popcorn Planet.
Do, 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 do.